So by the way, I want to thank you guys for voting for me. I really was not looking to be up here, but you guys voted me up here, so it's really awesome, and thank you. And if I'm on this poll again, please vote for somebody else. I need it. And by the way, at this time, if you want to put your cell phones on silent or vibrate, silent preferably, that would be awesome. We will make fun of you for your Justin Bieber ringtone. So I'm going to read 2 flash fiction pieces tonight to kind of start the show off. This first one was originally published in a magazine called Visiturgo. Hopefully I pronounced that right. And it's called Date Night. Why did you knock on the door instead of burst through the walls of my apartment?
I only do that to houses, and only when making commercials. The admin said that invading apartments is too depressing. People who live in apartments normally can only afford Flavor Aid, so the folks in marketing tell me.
I remember the way the genie that came from Pavement's vinyl album cover sleeve of Wowie Zowie looked at me when I asked to take the Kool-Aid Man out on a date. Are you sure you want this? You can have anything you want. Money, cars, superpowers, anything. And not in my head. At the Tapas restaurant, the Kool-Aid Man and I shared stuffed grape leaves, a cheese plate, bell pepper stuffed with gorgonzola cheese, and sweetened chorizo. I try not to watch the digested food disappear into his cherry food-colored plasma.
That was delicious,
he rasps.
Can we step away for a moment? I need a cigarette.
Outside, we lean against the restaurant. He digs a pack of Lucky Strikes and a black Bic lighter out of his blue swim trunks. He grabs a cigarette out of the pack using only his mouth and lights it.
I'm not allowed to drink booze or pop pills. It's in my contract. This helps calm my nerves down after spending hours and hours with child actors and bitter adults working for scale. I'm having a good time, by the way. I forgot what it was like to have dinner with a decent person.
I figured you needed a nice night out. I always wanted to meet you, find out what you were like behind the away from the cameras, the children and the animation. I'm having a good time too.
Anything else you want to find out?
His right eyebrow forms a come hither arch. 15 minutes later, we're back at my place. He tries pinning me against the wall to kiss me. I look like an insect on his windshield. We then try fooling around on the couch, his glass mouth lukewarm against my neck. I don't reach into his shorts. I already know what he doesn't have. Kool-Aid, sweetheart, this isn't working. Our bodies are just too different. I hope you aren't disappointed.
You're just like all the others.
He picks up his yellow Hawaiian shirt off the floor, puts it on, and walks out the door. Even in his anger and frustration, he still walked out the door instead of burst through a wall. I might call him tomorrow and see if we can go out again. In hindsight, I should have probably called that story,
Oh no. Oh yeah.
And it's funny how the Kool-Aid Man's voice is almost like Macho Man Randy Savage's voice, except Savage's was a little deeper. It was like, ooh yeah! So I think maybe they were the same person, possibly. Okay. This next piece, I have never read this to a live audience before, and it was originally featured in the now defunct online magazine called Kill Author. No authors were harmed in the making of the magazine. The theme of each magazine, the title came from a dead author, so you can go to killauthor.com to check out the archives of it. It's a really, really good online magazine. And this particular story was, it spun out of a particular line from a Raymond Carver story, and if you've read, I think, the story collection Cathedral, you might recognize that one line. It really stands out, especially when it's a woman saying it, and I have never heard a woman ever say this in my life. So, the story is called Raymond Carver's Dance Party. Fill me with your seed! Hillary yelled in my ear between pitter-pattering beats, a metallic voice singing something about the beat dropping and the party never stopping. The thin plastic cup of Malibu pineapple cranberry ice almost fell out of my hands. Where? When? 10 minutes. The handicap bathroom. Make sure the door guy isn't looking when you go in. Hillary danced her way toward the front of the club. I finished the pureed island, looked into the cup. What should I do? I asked the melting ice. The sweat of the cup nipped at my fingertips. What should I do? I poured a cube into my mouth, snapped it with my teeth, releasing the ghost of 1992. No glove, no love. The brain freeze sounded like a mix of Irvin Magic Johnson, Madonna, and Rosie Perez. What if it's just her mouth? The second cube cracked in my mouth. This time the ghost of 1992 crocheted the lyrics to Another One Bites the Dust Onto My Gums. Even if the past was down with such a hot mistake, I knew Hillary wasn't into appetizers. If this was a romance novel, the song that played during our first kiss would start once we were alone in the handicap bathroom. We would use verbs like ravage, thrust, pulled, adjectives like ache, flushed, engorged, heated. If this was literary fiction, there would be an internal conflict where I would decide, is my love lust for Hillary worth playing Who's the Father? Seeing how Hillary would never love me back no matter how many orgasms I give her, how many promises I make her. If this was an after-school special, she would get pregnant and we both might survive an STI scare depending on the mood of the writer while writing it. If this was a John Hughes film, we would end up together in the bathroom but not get it on because A, someone would walk in while we are in a compromising position and you would laugh at us being walked in on because being walked in on while your pants are down is funny to everyone but you, or B, we would have a heart-to-heart about why we shouldn't do this because we're in love with other people and it wouldn't work out and something from Crowded House would play us out. When I bit into the third cube, the ghost of 1992 opened a choose-your-own-adventure book titled A Night at the Club. Hillary and I were on the cover in our club clothes. Page 102 confirmed, she said, "Give me your seed." On the bottom it said, "If you want Craig to follow Hillary into the bathroom, turn to page 73. If you want Craig to stay at the bar, turn to page 67. The fourth ice cube said nothing. This is not how I helped make you, Bobby. One day, I will tell you how you were made. One day. Okay, now that we have done with making out with the Kool-Aid Man and illicit bathroom sex that never happened, our next reader for the first half, she was a contributor last year, the 2012 season of There Will Be Words, and she is back up based on the grace of your voting. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome up Karen Price.